over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Come on! Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play?
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in higher levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide, Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 6 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. It is Campbelltown City versus Adelaide United this afternoon at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. scheduled for 3 p.m. kickoff, less than 2 minutes away. Currently on the ladder, Campbelltown City sit in 8th place with just 2 wins from 5 games so far this season. Adelaide United sit in 9th, having taken 3 points on just 1 occasion so far this season. Also this afternoon, Croydon FC have already kicked off and they're biting at the heels of these two sides, so with a win, they can climb the ladder. And at the top end of the table, Adelaide City are also due for 3 p.m. kickoff, and their result should shake up the top 3. Let's have a look at the starting lineups for this fixture. 2 changes made for Campbelltown City by Daniel Mullen, following last week's 4-all goal fest away at West Adelaide, which resulted in shared points. Josh Morey scoring 2, with Labasso and Conant adding to the score sheet. Those 2 changes, in come Maricic and Malisi, out come Liam Bruno and Desiato. And 5 changes made to Adelaide United by Paul Vanis following last week's 1-all draw with Croydon FC, in which Brodie Burkett was the sole goal scorer with a 55th minute penalty. Into Adelaide United come O'Neill, Crawford, Grelly, Kuzman and Amlani Tatu. Our officials for today, Christian Vidicchio, Thomas Tembry, Ibrahim Saidi, and Simon Jimenez will be keeping you across what's happening live at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre today. Both teams now making their way onto the field of play. And there's going to be a minute's silence before we kick off today as well, honouring the passing of someone that's had involvement with both of these clubs. That is Arthur DeFetti, past chairman of Campbelltown. In fact, he held that position for 14 years and also part of the initial Adelaide United board. Well-known figure in football in South Australia. So today they honour him in his passing, and his 3 daughters will be in the middle of the pitch before we get things underway. We've got a packed fixture here this afternoon all across the league. You can see all the action at FSA Leagues on YouTube, but we'll go through those fixtures in just a moment after we observe this minute's silence. Once again, that minute of silence honouring a servant of football in South Australia and also serving both of these clubs involved today, Arthur DeFetti and his 3 daughters in the middle of the pitch as the teams greet each other and get ready to kick off. As we said before, round 6 in the RAA NPLSA will conclude today, and we've already had it commence last night with West Torrens Bacala facing Metro Stars. One of the hotly anticipated games of the round, but ended up in a goalless draw. We have the 2:30 kickoff this afternoon between Croydon and Adelaide Comets, in which Croydon currently lead 1-0 after a 29th minute goal. And elsewhere across the league, we've got 3 o'clock kickoffs at Para Hills as they host Adelaide City. Playford City hosting Sturt Lions. And at 6 o'clock tonight, West Adelaide and FK Beograd. Should be plenty of action ahead for this fixture for us, though, with both teams in the bottom 6 at the moment. A pretty tight table, so the winner today can hopefully close the gap on the top 6. Specifically, if it's Campbelltown, Adelaide United with a little bit more ground to make up. Campbelltown, as we said, 2 changes to the lineup ahead of today. Maricic, Malisi coming in, Liam Bruno, Desiato coming out. 5 changes for Adelaide United. In come O'Neill, Crawford, Grelly, Kuzman and Tatu. Of course, Adelaide United seniors will be in action a little bit later today against Newcastle Jets. So potentially with those changes, Adelaide United just having to manage the list a little bit, potentially. Campbelltown, 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses so far this season on 7 points. Adelaide United in 9th, 1 win, 2 draws and 2 losses on just 5 points. West Adelaide and FK Beergrad currently sit in 6th and 7th. They're 6 o'clock kickoff, so with a win tonight or today for Campbelltown City, they can potentially jump into the top 6 as we get things underway here. Long one that just goes over the head of Maury. He has a little bit of work to do to keep it in, and he does. Cross in. Was hoping to find Labasso in the middle, but just sails over his head, and now Adelaide United will set up a counter. 1-1 draw was the result last week for the visitors, or I should correct myself, 2 weeks ago. Last week being the Cup. And that was when they hosted Croydon. Passia John was the first player to get a goal to his name in round 5 in the 35th minute before Brodie Burkett drew level with a penalty in the 55th minute. Now, Brodie Burkett won't be in this Adelaide United side today, potentially appearing with the seniors a little bit later today. Meanwhile, for Campbelltown, they hosted an Australia Cup match here last week against FK Beergrad. 5 goals scored. In fact, there's been a lot of goals scored over the last couple of weeks for Campbelltown. But last week they went down 1-0 initially in the 11th minute before Labasso evened things up in the 29th. They conceded again in the 34th minute before leveling it up again at 2-2, thanks to a goal from Josh Maury in the 67th. But ended up conceding the last one and going down 3-2. Thanks to Jason Konstantopoulos converting in the 78th for FK Beergrad. And on the topic of goals, the week before that, 8 goals scored at Kilburn against West Adelaide, in which Campbelltown, as visitors, drew West Adelaide to a massive 4-4 draw. Amlani Tatu trying to get around the Campbelltown City defenders. Offloaded to Battistella, who's dispossessed. They get it back again. Adelaide United, but it's dealt with for the time being. Kasper Kuzman having a little bit of involvement with that. He's a player that we haven't seen a terrible lot for Adelaide United's NPL side, and he's one of the 5 incoming players for this afternoon. And he's in a bit of a centre attacking midfield sort of role by the looks of where he's at the moment. Ball goes all the way back to Ethan Cox for Adelaide United. Stanisic wearing the number 71 in possession now and spills it. He's one of the other players to come into the Adelaide United side. Kasumovic. Amlani Tatu has his hand in the air and he's calling for it on the far right-hand side. But Adelaide United will be patient in the build-up here. Kuzman tracking back to help Adelaide United to play it out. United still being very patient, but not under a terrible lot of pressure from Labasso and Maury, who are just sitting off at the moment. Now Stanisic will find Amlani Tatu, who decides to say Jack Rawson for a run. Switches it to the other side, and now Adelaide United will attack from the left. Kuzman snuck in around the far side, and he will keep it in. Offloads it to Garuccio. Shot off the left boot, but it's well wide and high in the end. And we'll get play restarted with a spare ball while someone hopefully helps us out by retrieving that one from the car park. 8 goals scored by Campbelltown City during the last 3 matches. And that, of course, includes that 4 against West Adelaide in round 5 of the RAA NPLSA and 3 against FK Beergrad. The top scorers so far this season, Josh Murray with 5, Mullen and Conant with 2 each, and Jaden Labasso, player who came in from Comets last year, only found the back of the net on 1 occasion. Here's Labasso, and it'll go high. 7th on the ladder is where Campbelltown finished last season after claiming the championship the year before. They'll hope to go one better this year, but it's only getting tougher, this competition, with the likes of Adelaide City and West Torrens-Bacalla bolstering their sides, and Metro Stars hoping to build on last year's premierships, and Croydon trying to back up their championship win. Meanwhile, it was a 5th place finish for Adelaide United. They took part in the finals before Metro Stars knocked them out, before they eventually went down in the grand final to Croydon. Garuccio just a little bit heavy on the touch, but he does win it back. Adelaide United again play it back, and they'll be patient once more. Speaking of United, their top goal scorer, Alex Battistella, who's playing today, 2 goals so far. Burkett, Crawford, Garuccio, Blazovic, all on 1 each. Amlani Tatu thought about trying to compete to win that high, but ends up leaving it. Now Maury has it and goes in on the attack. He's got Rawson on the underlap. That's coming in. Labasso's in the middle as well, and that's who he's searching for. Cox gets a touch first. Malawal Nicola trying to win it back, and Campbelltown get another shot off before it eventually goes out for a Campbelltown free kick. Adelaide United goal kick, I should say. That the former Salisbury United and Croatia Raiders player Ethan Cox will take. 22 years of age and has an Olyroos squad appearance to his name as well. Long ball, but it will be cut off by Campbelltown. Cleared hurriedly, and Maury managed to momentarily get it under control. As United go back again, Fazo Kasumovic playing it back to the safety of Ethan Cox. Kasumovic obviously in Adelaide, so not part of the Adelaide United A-League squad that will be playing a little bit later today, but he had his A-League debut back in 2024. And he's also got a Joey's appearance under his belt as well, alongside his 2 United teammates in Amlani Tatu and Malawal Nicola. Campbelltown on the attack once more. Maricic sends it long, but Labasso will eventually get to it. He's got O'Neill to compete with, but it goes out. Campbelltown, corner kick. And Jordan O'Doherty is marching up to claim it. He's one of the displaced Mowbray Jets players, I guess you can say, after the Jets got relegated after the RAA NPLSA 2025 season. Mullen gets ahead to it, and Campbelltown still scrambling. It's not out of danger yet. It eventually falls to the safe hands of Ethan Cox, who decides to bomb it long, searching for Harry Crawford, but it just goes over his head, and Kenya Fujinami gets ahead to it first. Kasper Kuzman with a touch. He plays it out to his left-hand side. Switch ball. Did well to pick out Malawa Nicola. And that ball not so well judged from Harry Crawford, who just lets it go through, and Alex Mullen can clean up for Campbelltown City. Maury Just attempting to break loose there, but it's dealt with by Adelaide United again. Stanisic. Nicola linking up with Omlani Tatu, who always backs his own footwork in, and he's taking a couple Campbelltown players for a run. While Rawson tries to win it, but he's still chasing him down. Omlani eventually spills to Maricic, who sends it long, but Labasso will have a bit of a chase on his hands to keep it in, and he doesn't manage to do so. Adelaide United throw in. In terms of the most recent meetings for these two teams, round 19 in last year's league, Adelaide United got a 4-2 win. On that occasion was Battistella, O'Neill, and Battistella again, who got goals for Adelaide United. There was also an own goal as well, and Adelaide United ended up finishing that game with 10 men, as did Campbelltown. Their 2 goals coming in the 83rd and 78th minutes, courtesy of Graves and Marino. Then earlier in the year, round 8, it was a 2-1 win for Campbelltown, with Maury and Marino scoring the 2 for Campbelltown. Again in that game they finished with 10 men, and it was White for Adelaide United that scored. So by my calculations, in the 2 league meetings of last year, 3 sending offs. So potential for maybe a little bit of drama in this fixture as well. We'll wait and see. So far it's been pretty respectful, with maybe Campbelltown having a little bit more opportunity, but Adelaide United being quite patient and dealing with everything that they've been thrown with so far. Christian Vidicchio's whistle goes, and O'Doherty chooses to take that quickly, and back to Maricic. Jane Labasso made a quick little run through the middle there, but that option not taken, and Campbelltown will build it up from the back. O'Doherty finds Maury centrally. He's got initially had 3 United players on him, but he backtracked into a little bit of safety, and Adelaide United eventually win it off of him. Eventually goes out. It'll be a Campbelltown throw-in. As we said, plenty of other games happening today as well, including the early kickoff between Croydon and Adelaide Comets. That one is approaching half-time, and scores are currently locked there. 1-1 with Croydon getting off the mark first in the 29th minute, and Comets getting one back in the 37th. That one, number 10 versus number 11th on the live ladder. Meanwhile, Para Hills host Adelaide City, and Playford City host Sturt Lions. Both of those games 0-0 as we speak. And of course, West Adelaide and FK Beergrad to round off the RAA NPLSA round 6 weekend. And of course, we thank the RAA, naming rights sponsor of the RAA NPLSA. Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. 13 minutes gone now on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. O'Doherty thought about sending it long. Maury was waiting to run onto it centrally, but instead goes wide. Rawson managed to pick up the ball, but Adelaide United end up being the beneficiary of this throw-in. Mallowell Nicola to take. Mullen finds James Boffa and plays it back to Maricic, who looked like he was looking for a long option as well. He eventually takes one, but he goes centrally. Maury looks like he'll be second to the ball, and he is. Ethan Cox with a powerful punch, and Maury comes off that second best. Christian Vidicchio having a closer look. Well, it did seem like the sort of in dispute ball that both players were going to have to commit, and Ethan Cox, I think, did more strongly so. Maybe just a slight bit of hesitation in the lead up from Maury. He's just having a bit of a talking to from Christian Verdicchio, and it looks like just a quick word being had at the moment at the Campbelltown bench. And it looks like play will continue with a drop ball to Adelaide United. Attempt of a switch to their right-hand side, but it falls well short, and now Campbelltown have a chance to capitalise. Maury has got a lot of opposition to get through and chooses to go back instead. Not quite sure if that was an attempt at goal or a bit of a cross, but either way it was sent goalward by Kenji Fujinami, and Ethan Cox intercepts Crawford now. But he's stopped pretty rapidly by Alex Mullen, who was searching for Maury once again. So far for Campbelltown, from what I have seen so far this season, it's possibly been a little bit frustrating for Josh Maury, who is a target that they keep looking for going forward, but some of the delivery not quite good enough for him to capitalise on. Labasso, another pickup for Campbelltown City in the off-season, brought in to complement the attack of Campbelltown, but so far not really being able to make much of a mark. Just one goal for Labasso so far. He was the best and fairest at Comets last year, and he was also in the team of the year for last year and the year before, so we know he can score goals, but just unable to really make his mark across town for Campbelltown as of yet. Amlani Tatu with a nice ball slipped through to Kuzman. He centres it. He was looking for Crawford. It's gone back for another attempt from Adelaide United. Mullen clears only as far as Battistella, who's battling to find a little bit of space. Eventually finds Maluel Nicola. And Adelaide United forced to retreat. Now it's Kasumovic. That ball just left by Alex Battistella, but Alex Mullen, captain Campbelltown, ready to clean that up. Now Adelaide United, despite being stifled in their attempts to get forward over the last couple of minutes or so, stay in possession, and they're just trying to settle into this game, control things a little bit. It's something that they managed to do against Croydon a couple of weeks ago. But just that final bit of quality, enough to convert, seems to maybe one of the things that are missing for Campbelltown. Is a little bit of a half attempt from Bailey O'Neill from distance there, but only falls to Alex Mullen again, who plays it out long. Maybe a clearance, or perhaps vaguely looking for Labasso, but Labasso didn't get to it. Now Campbelltown just trying to interrupt that momentum of Adelaide United just by, when they do get possession, trying to attack fast and furious. Malisi ends up getting onto the end of that ball, and under a little bit of pressure was James Boffer, I believe. And now it's Adelaide United back on the attack once more. O'Neill was cut off, then showed a little bit of frustration there, and brings his opposite play to ground. I believe it may be Boffer, but he's a little bit far away to see. It was Boffer. Getting a bit of a manhandling, to be perfectly honest, and O'Neill's just having a little bit of a talking to from Christian Verdicchio. Possibly a first and last warning before next time it might result in a yellow card. Alex Mullen will take the free kick. He's got Jack Rawson on the far left-hand side in a fair bit of space. Chooses to go to the short option in Maricic on his left. Jordan Maricic, 28 years of age. Former Bacala player, former Adelaide City, former Hume City in the NPL Victoria. And coming into this side, into the starting 11 this week. Long ball, and there's a couple of players from Adelaide United that wanted to run onto it, but Daniel Vaughan is comfortable in picking that up. Vaughan chooses Mullen. So Vaughan, another one of the players on the list of Campbelltown's incomings between the end of 2025 and this season. He came over with Jaden Labasso from Comets. One of the informed goalkeepers last season. There was a little bit of chatter on social media saying that he perhaps should have been goalkeeper of the year. That nod instead going to Daniel Margush of Croydon, who, to be completely fair, made a pretty good account of himself in 2025 as well and continues to do so in 2026. But Daniel Vaughan, experienced at 35 years of age, formerly of Hills Hawks, who he made his 2006 debut with, Cumberland, Adelaide Croatia Raiders, West Adelaide, Adelaide Olympic, before going over to Comets, which was his last stop before coming over to the team in red, Boffa. Adelaide United seemed to have a little bit of a momentum building until the last couple more minutes or so. Now they get it again. Amlani Tatu just trying to force Fujinami to work, and it looks like hands around his shoulder. Garuccio. And there goes the whistle. It's a free kick for Campbelltown City and a yellow card for Joey Garuccio. It's probably a little series worth going back and just watching the build-up of that. It was interesting with Amlani Tatu getting a little bit of a cuddle from Kenya Fujinami in order to stop him. The whistle didn't go. And then there was a loose ball that three different players had to scramble to pick up for Campbelltown. Daniel Vaughan is having a bit of a chat to Christian Verdicchio, maybe pleading that he thought Garuccio should have got more than a yellow card, but you'd have to say probably unlikely at this stage of the game. Garuccio still with a little bit to say about that. Garuccio goes into the book at the 22-minute mark, and he's just trying to put a little bit of pressure on Daniel Vaughan there to clear, and he does so, but the ball ends up back with Campbelltown despite a touch from United. Mullen under a little bit of pressure now. He evades both Garuccio and Kuzman, I believe it was. It wasn't Kuzman, it was Crawford. Nicola finds Amlani Tatu, and Rawson tracking back furiously. They eventually manage to win it with a little bit of help from Fujinami, who goes down, and the whistle goes. It'll be a Campbelltown free kick. Fujinami still on the ground. Amlani Tatu going to check on him. And the trainer for Campbelltown comes on to give Kenya Fujinami a little bit of attention. He's up now though, and he'll have to exit the pitch as the trainer has been called on. Vaughan to take. 24 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportable System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. Ball goes over the top of everyone, and Ethan Cox ends up with it. He'll have a little bit of time to assess his options. Haven't been terribly pressing in these situations so far, Adelaide United. Or Campbelltown City on Adelaide United, rather. So United will have the opportunity to build out from the back. Although Kuzman under a little bit of pressure, somehow manages to keep it. Goes over to that left-hand side, and it's Alex Battistella, who didn't quite manage to get past Alicio Malisi, who goes long to Jaden Labasso, who goes to ground. Just another check-in with the other games happening around the place. Still all 0-0 at Para Hills, hosting Adelaide City, and Playford City, who host Lions, and 1-1 at halftime at Regency Park as Croydon hosts Adelaide Comets. The rain has arrived at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. We did have a little bit of rain in the lead up to kick-off in this game, but the sun seemed to clear, and it looks like this short little shower will clear pretty quickly as well. Possession just spilled, and it's a Boffa who's looking for options. He chooses to go long. Maury will get this as Nicola tracks back to try cut it off. Nice cross. Just shoots past everyone, and Malisi struggles to control it. It'll be Adelaide United goal kick. Home game for Campbelltown City's women's side last night to kick off the weekend, and it was a big win for them. 5-1 for Campbelltown City against Flinders United in the Apex Steel WNPLSA round 5 fixture. So huge win for Campbelltown City, their first points of the year, and a big hat-trick as well for Anna Pritchard. So perhaps a little bit of a turning point last night for Campbelltown City's women's side, and Campbelltown City's men's side probably needed a little bit of a turning point to try notching up some consistent performances as well. If they can take 3 points at home today, a chance for them to break into the top 6. Adelaide United just one spot behind them in 9th, and also trying to build a little bit of momentum. Amlani Tatu has Fujinami to get in front of. Didn't manage to beat him before firing off that shot, and it takes a deflection. And now Adelaide United will set up for a corner kick. Looks like Tatu will take. Will look like it for a second, but Garuccio has come to claim it. He's got Amlani Tatu as a short option, but he may send this in off the left foot, but the wind's just picked up here. It'll be behind the ball. It ends up being dealt with by Campbelltown. Harrison Connett just cut off, and it goes off for an Adelaide United throw-in. Harrison Connett's been a decent pickup for Campbelltown City so far this year. Joined from Para Hills Knights. He debuted for Para Hills Knights' closest rivals in Mobbery Jets back in 2020. He's also spent time with Adelaide United's youth side. Battistella finds Amlani Tatu. Well, didn't quite find Amlani Tatu because it goes out, and it'll be a Campbelltown goal kick. Dan Vaughan just taking a little bit of an extra moment to try organise his defenders on that occasion. Thought for a second the whistle went, but it didn't. Play continues. Now Milani Tatu will get to this. Garuccio. But Campbelltown City managed to play it away. Now Ethan Cox is off his line. He's tracking back. Maury sends it across to Jaden Labasso, but just a little bit too far in front for him to get a foot on. Campbelltown still with a fair bit of urgency about this attack. And it'll eventually go out for a Campbelltown City throw-in. Just 7 points claimed so far this year for Campbelltown City. Round one was an away loss to West Torrens Bacalla. We might come back to that. Shot from distance. Ends up going way over. Just revisiting that form. 8th on the ladder with 7 points. Round one loss to West Torrens Bacalla. Away for Campbelltown City. They managed to get a win at home against Playford, who are in form at the moment, in round two. That big 4-4 draw away to West Adelaide last week, or last round, round 5 2 weeks ago, because last week was Australia Cup. And they suffered a home defeat to FK Beergrad. For Adelaide United, they're coming off that draw at home to Croydon, a win away to Comets before that, and a draw the week before that one, away to Adelaide City. Boffa finds Maricic. Vaughan sends it long. It looks like Maury will let it bounce as he managed to fend off Stanisic, who's getting a bit of a talking to from Christian Vidicchio. Maybe feeling a little bit hard done by, given how Maury was leaning into him. Jordan O'Doherty will take this, and he chooses to offload it to Mullen quickly, who avoids Limlani Tatu flying in. Now Maury crosses, and will go over the top of everyone. Seems to be a little bit of a pattern for Campbelltown both today and maybe in general a little bit as well. Not managing to find their final target, and hence not able to generate the opportunities that they'd like. Maury, but it's tapped away. Maury ends up back with it, and he's getting his arm held there, but play will go on. Mullen looks up and decides to find O'Doherty in the middle, but Adelaide United win possession. It's Amlani Tatu before it's given away. Fujinami, the 23-year-old Japanese player who was brought over from Mill Park in Melbourne. Conant does well to battle past Bailey O'Neill. And Labasso will cross. Falls well to Josh Maury. And it's the home side that will get on the score sheet first. Josh Maury in the 34th minute. I made the comment just less than a minute ago. Just that final delivery seems to be what's lacking from Campbelltown. And when they do manage to land one on target, Maury able to convert it. So Maury in the 34th to get us underway in this fixture at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. Fair to say it's been pretty even up until this point. Both teams having their chances. United having moments where they looked in control, but not managing to capitalise. In general, they'll probably be a little bit disappointed with inability to control general flow of this game. And Campbelltown in their attacks, been a little bit more fast and furious. Maybe a little bit more scrappy, but dangerous nonetheless. And just lacking that final delivery, except for that occasion in which Josh Morrie's able to find the back of the net. 34 minutes on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard. Adelaide United now in their attacking third. Meanwhile, Nicola favours a short throw to Joey Garuccio and it'll go out again. And now it'll be an Adelaide United corner kick. Garuccio. No, it will be a throw-in. Tatu chooses to play it out via the legs of Fujinami. Now Campbelltown will throw it in. Fujinami just calling his players to go a little bit longer. Labasso will likely win this. Gets an arm over the shoulder. Doesn't win the free kick. Now Adelaide United play all the way back to Ethan Cox. They've been patient in build-up so far. It looks like they will be again. Kasumovic. Nice little cross in taking quickly, but not quite accurate enough, and Campbelltown are able to deal with the initial threat. Bally O'Neill just finds himself getting to that first, which Malisi was maybe a little bit too leisurely with. Now it's an Adelaide United corner kick. While we set up for this, we'll have a quick look at one of the other games, because we're off the mark at Para Hills. Kuzman takes a shot, but it goes wide. Wire deflection, and Adelaide United will take that corner once again. Just to go back to that game at the Paddocks. Para Hills hosting Adelaide City, and Adelaide City have scored in the 35th minute. Adelaide City currently in second spot. Daniel Vaughan just a little bit in no man's land there, but Adelaide United not able to capitalise. We'll just revisit the ladder situation at the moment. Adelaide City can't climb into first position on the ladder today with a win, despite West Torrens Bacala sharing points with Metro Stars in third place. But they can close the gap. If they take 3 points today, Adelaide City can climb up to 14 points. And they'll be 3 points clear of their closest follower, I guess, in Metro Stars, and Playford City potentially as well. The live ladder shows Playford City to finish on 11 points if it is a draw there, but there's still a lot of game to play out in that one at Playford against third as well. So we will check in with out through the remainder of this afternoon. And then again, West Adelaide and FK Beergrad kicking off at 6 o'clock tonight at Kilburn. A game to check out if you want to get out there after enjoying this game on FSA Leagues. Bring your jacket. It's chilly here in Campbelltown at the moment. It will cool down a bit further tonight, one would expect. Labasso tried to punch it forward to find Maricic, but didn't quite get there. Correct myself, Connaught was the target in that instance. Morrie lines up from outside the 18-yard box, but that won't trouble Ethan Cox. Amlani Tatu doesn't manage to get past Rawson. They pick it back up again, Adelaide United rather, as We saw a little bit of a clumsy fall by Stanisic there. Kasper Kuzman, who we mentioned at the top of this game, one of the 5 changes coming into the starting 11 for Adelaide United today. He was playing a bit further up the pitch before, but he's settled in at left back at the moment. In a couple more weeks, these two teams will have a week off, given Campbelltown's exit from the Australia Cup. And Adelaide United will have a break from NPL competition. Round 7 will see Campbelltown City face Para Hills away, and Adelaide United host West Adelaide before that 1 week break. But Adelaide United certainly can't rest too much because they're getting ready for their finals campaign in the A-League as this one comes in. Dan Vaughan comfortably captures that. Labasso doesn't manage to win that ahead of Mlani Tatu, and it goes all the way back to Ethan Cox. Plenty of players for the young Reds here that will be keen to impress the Adelaide United brass ahead of this campaign. Plenty of A-League appearances among this group, and plenty of regular players that have gone up to the A-League and made a bit of impression, including Brodie Burkett, who was one of the omissions compared to last week for Adelaide United. Of course, he scored a hat-trick in his second appearance for Adelaide United in A-League competition and become a little bit of a regular call-up to the A-League since. Nice little backheel to Battistella, but he's going to get past Alex Mullen, who wins it. Bit of a case of youth versus experience with Battistella v Mullen. Former Metro Stars and Adelaide City player is Alex Battistella. In fact, he made his debut for Adelaide City back in 2003, just 15 years of age. Mlani Tatu, first touch, not good enough, but he manages to keep it before it goes out for a United throw-in. Chooses Garuccio. But Adelaide United spill. Maury and Labasso is the two runners forward. He chose Labasso on the left-hand side. And Maury's on the right. Again, that cross just goes a little bit beyond Maury, but he's able to get it in control now. He crosses back, Labasso. Just had a little bit too much distance to cover, and by that stage it had just gone out. Ethan Cox to take this goal kick. 43 minutes gone on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard. United again being quite patient in their build-up and not too concerned by Labasso and Maury, who are just sitting off a little bit. Nicola finds Battistella. Garuccio plays it forward. Looked like he might have been looking for Mlani Tatu, who's giving him some feedback. Battistella doing his best to give Daniel Vaughan a bit of a hurry on. Mullen goes back to Vaughan. Well won by Grelly Goes to Bailey O'Neill, who's just battling to shake James Boffa. Eventually goes back to Kazumovic. He finds Stanisic. Nicola plays it down the line, and Alex Battistella will get it to it, but he's got Malisi to shake. Jordan Maricic, sorry. But regardless, it will be a Campbelltown throw-in. Just a little bit of confusion around what's happening here. In fact, it will be a Campbelltown free kick, and Daniel Vaughan will take it. Our officials today: Christian Vidicchio, Thomas Temby and Ibrahim Saidi. Doherty finds Fujinami, who plays it back to Maricic, and he chooses Labasso long, but he spills. And we're just about to hit 1 minute into time added. I wouldn't expect there to be a lot out of it. We've just had the trainer come out on one occasion for Campbelltown. It looks like we'll likely see the home team go into the change rooms in the lead, and they do. 1-0 the scoreline at half-time at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. Just the one goal to speak of. Josh Morey striking in the 34th minute. We saw one yellow card to Garuccio on the 22nd. And aside from that, a fairly even contest overall. Both teams having their moments in control. We'll quickly do a score check with the other games that are happening at the moment. Almost 60 minutes gone at Regency Park, and Croydon currently trailing Adelaide Comets 2-1. This would be big if Adelaide Comets have the chance to get their first win of the season. Playford City all locked up with Sturt Lions at half-time. And Adelaide City is not yet at half-time, leading Para Hills 1-0. Simon Jimenez with you on the call today. Join us for the second half shortly.
I signed my child up. Well, this is probably second time, I reckon. Last year we did it as well.
I thought it'd be good for her to get out and be active because she loves playing soccer.
It's just great to get the kids out, especially off the iPads and stuff like that as well.
She's made new friends, and I'd definitely recommend it to other people.
So you just enjoy the game and just enjoy playing with other kids, yeah.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Inside. First pass isn't really that great, but they still have it. Shot from distance, and that is an absolute rocket from Caelan Laird. Super sub comes on, makes it 3-0.
Cutting inside, has the strike. Hussein! That's an unbelievable goal, Abu Hussein, for his first of the club. We're only 5 minutes in here, but he's almost taken the net off.
Ball. Bucco now, great crossfield pass to Dominic Costanzo in this side here on his left, gets a shot in, that's goal bound, and it's gone in. Fine finish by Dominic Costanzo, making it 1-1 on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard. And maybe no scores update in a minute here as this free kick comes in from Kasimovic, who's hit it well. Oh, Hasan Kasimovic, pick that one out. Oh, that's I've got no words, Paul. No. That doesn't happen very often, but that's a fine free kick.
No, that's a super strike. Super strike.
Might have been playing into the path of that Stella, but the end now. Corner on the break. Cassia John has a shot from distance. Wow! Goal of the week! Cassia John!
One of the best signs that we know when it is a positive experience is when children keep coming back. We want them to be open to make a mistake so they keep learning. The learning is hidden within the games. So as much as possible, get in contact with the ball.
The kids are repeating the drills a lot, so it just becomes a muscle memory. The kids don't need to focus on the skill itself, they just do it naturally, yeah.
I love refereeing because it's a challenge, you know, to go out to try and get the right decision, manage some of the egos or the personalities, knowing that you've got all these different types of people at play. And it's actually been a good life school as well. I started refereeing junior games on the Sunday. I was playing in senior football on the Saturday, so I felt like, you know, making some money. I think I was a decent player back then. You know, I could have stayed around and played senior football in NPL, but I decided to go refereeing, and I've got in the National League much quicker than if I was as a player. Probably wouldn't have made it as a player, to be honest. Just kind of never looked back and was happy to progress. But I think people should try refereeing. I think it's a great tool to realise, you know, how you can also contribute to part of the game. There's pathways. Definitely it can be a rewarding career.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
So the Youth Club Championship, we've designed a structure where the under 13s, under 14s, under 15s and 16s all compete together as one club. They'll play at the same venue, they'll play one after each other. It allows the technical director to be at the venue to help educate and look after the coaches, and also there's a focus on player development.
Players are now knowing where they are at and the pathway to follow each year. If they continue with the YCC, they should be in a position where they can go into senior football. It's a lot clearer around the steps they need to take to keep tracking as a player.
We've created an additional YCC training session or seminar night. All the players involved had the opportunity to do an extra additional skills session development plan, and we had Adrian Stanter coming in to talk about how to become a more professional player from a younger age.
The fact that as a club we are investing heavily in the juniors to ensure that we're putting those tools in place that the YCC is wanting from us, that's certainly bringing around some benefits to the club and to junior development across the board.
Everyone's trying to obtain points for their club, but also with a strong focus on how do we create a competition where players can play against like players.
The one thing I have noticed is it's been a bit more focused on getting the balance right. So, you know, trying to keep the best teams playing against each other throughout the entire year and not having this big disparity between one team or another, one club or another.
So what it has allowed us to do is have quality games every week, which has benefited the competition and given the girls a chance to sort of understand what it's like to play at that elite level. While development is a good focus, the YCC does bring out the aspect of results as well, which helps find that balance for players to transition to senior football.
So I think with the YCC structure now in place, there's become a better level, and with a better level there's been higher intensity within our sessions, and that's allowed for greater development in terms of a player technically, tactically, and that's given them the best chance to keep improving their game.
Yeah, look, I think there's certainly brought around a lot of excitement to the club on YCC Day. The club's buzzing, a lot of the parents and players really enjoy seeing the kids play, and what is really now an elite pathway in junior football in our state.
Something that resonated with me right on the onset was about connecting a budding footballer with the right coach with the right club, and the right club being part of the right football environment. So the YCC tells me that this has been a fantastic implementation by Football South Australia.
Still in the box, and it's another goal!
Welcome back to Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. It is round 6 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. Campbelltown City hosting Adelaide United. And just to recap the action of the first half, just one goal. That was Josh Murray capitalising off a cross in the 34th minute. A relatively even affair in the first half. For Campbelltown, it was a little bit of a story of, for the most part, not being able to capitalise on chances and find that target player in the attacking third. And for Adelaide United, not really being able to control possession and dictate the speed of play, which they usually like to do. Set up for an interesting second half, though, as the visitors try to chase down this deficit. Before we get play back underway, worth checking in with the other games that are happening at the moment in round 6 of the RAA NPLSA. This one's a little bit of a surprise. Croydon hosting Adelaide Comets, who at this moment are winless in the competition, yet they currently lead at Regency Park 2-1 over the home side. Playford City and Sturt Lions have just come out for the second half. They're all locked up at 0-0. And Adelaide City are visiting Para Hills with the visitors 1-0 up. Still later tonight, 6 o'clock kickoff between West Adelaide and West Adelaide and FK Beergrad are the words that I was trying to get out. That one, Kilburn, if you want to check out the action live. If not, jump onto FSA Leagues and see the action. Looks like no changes for either side. Second half as we get back underway. We said at the start of the game, 5 changes coming into this for the visitors in Adelaide United. 2 for Campbelltown. That one comes in long from Kasumovic, and the cross comes in, but there's no one there to receive. Nonetheless, Malisi will take the safe route and put that out of play. That'll be an Adelaide United corner kick. And it looks like Amlani Tatu will send this in off his right boot for an in-swinger. You'd have to give the height advantage to Adelaide United as Amlani Tatu just ends up sending it a little bit short of that near post. Goes out again. This time it'll be a Campbelltown throw-in. We did see at halftime Israel Monga, the 18-year-old for Adelaide United, who came off the bench last round against Croydon. I thought he might have been a halftime change, but he ended up putting the jacket back on, and we won't see him yet, perhaps a little bit later. Cox. Now, this is a little bit interesting from Campbelltown City. They were sitting off Adelaide United a little bit before in the first half when they were playing it out from the back. In that occasion, turning up the heat a little bit. Adelaide United seem to have started with a little bit more intensity in this second half as well. And looks like Harrison Conant has just gone to ground. Campbelltown City free kick. Alex Mullen plays it back to Daniel Vaughan. The two elder statesmen of this Campbelltown side, 34 and 35 years of age respectively. Plenty of experience at the back for Campbelltown. Bailey O'Neill at the moment in centre-back for Adelaide United, and I think I have seen a change for Adelaide United as well. Wearing the number 88, Callan Alagich has come on. Central defensive midfield position. Look for the tall blonde head wearing the number 88. I believe it's Vinko Stanisic that has come off as a centre-back, hence Bailey O'Neill slipping back. Nicola goes from distance and it dipped and hit the crossbar. Heard a little bit of a gasp from the crowd below me, and I don't think even Daniel Vaughan in goals predicted it to dip that way. Amlani Tatu, for a second he thought about getting that shot off, but James Boffa there was able to cut it off, and he gives away a free kick in the process. Now this could be an opportunity for Adelaide United to do something. Amlani Tatu was lingering as if he maybe wanted to take that free kick, but he's since wandered off. Harry Crawford is still there. There's a five-man red Campbelltown wall straight in front of him. And he tried to go up and over, but ends up going all the way over. So a little bit more tempo from both of these teams to start off the half. Adelaide United just trying to ramp up their pace a little bit, and Campbelltown particularly we saw just trying to apply a little bit more pressure to Ethan Cox when Adelaide United tried to play it out from the back. Some fresh legs in Callan Alagich. Of course, Ethan's younger brother, who's been tremendous for Adelaide United in the A-League this season. I was at his last game against Auckland, and he was one of the standout players for me. James Boffa goes to ground this time, and now Campbelltown win a free kick. A little bit stop-start for the first 4 and a bit minutes in this round 6 clash. Boffa just held up the ball a little bit and forced Alagic to try to catch him. And Campbelltown then play it forward. Labasso will take this throw in. Short to Conant. He's got O'Neill to get through, who gives him a sturdy bump, but he gets back to his feet. Keeps the ball, but only momentarily. It'll be a Campbelltown throw-in, though. This time it's Alessio Malisi who comes up to claim the throw-in. The 24-year-old who debuted for Metro Stars in terms of his senior football back in 2018. He'll have a little bit of space to cross here. Goes to Labasso via deflection. He crosses again. Adelaide United deal with it initially. O'Doherty tried to wind up and hit it off the volley, but Adelaide United able to pick up the loose ball and go on attack. It's stopped though, and they'll throw in. Garuccio goes back to Kasumovic. O'Neill. Nicola picks out Tatu, who judges that well. Now Conant's got to slide in and he wins it. Marty Tatu just fighting to win it back high up the pitch, but it goes out. Will be an Adelaide United throw-in. Alex Battistella was picked out and he got the first touch to it before giving it away. And Rawson slotted it to Fujinami, I believe it was. And now Campbelltown are just displaying a little bit more patience in playing it out from the back. They eventually try to go long to Labasso. And here's Labasso again. The target was Maury, but cut off by Kasumovic. Now Maury will win it. Just held up by traffic on that occasion, Campbelltown. United give up possession and now it's Maricic on the charge. He comes in on the underlap too to support Maury. Manages to look like an attempted across, but not a whole lot behind it. And now Adelaide United will play forward. Malisi does well to cut off that ball to Amlani Tatu. Liam Stam wearing the number 57 seems to have found himself on the pitch for Adelaide United, so make that 2 changes during half-time. Liam Stam, a former Para Hills junior. Amlani Tatu tries from distance, but it's wide. Just trying to pick who the second player was that came off for Adelaide United. And the first one was Vinko Stanisic. And I believe the second may have been Fabian Grelli. And of course, Callan Alagic and Liam Stam, the 2 players coming on for Adelaide United at half-time. Alagic locked in a bit of a battle with O'Doherty. O'Doherty comes away with it, but he's still against 2. Well won by Adelaide United. But given away again. Alex Mullen with a nice ball forward. Labasso got to it first. A little bit misjudged from Bailey O'Neill. Tried to bump him off the ball, but Labasso did pretty well to evade and get around him. Luckily for Adelaide United, Ethan Cox was there to clean up that situation. think it's fair to say, despite of a little bit of a quicker start to the half, things haven't continued to pick up in intensity. It's looking a little bit patient now. All of a sudden, the Campbelltown front two aren't applying that same pressure to Adelaide United as they just pick up space and make it into that middle third. They did well to play it to Kuzman. So 2 pivots at the moment for Adelaide United with Kuzman and Alagic. Mullen picks out O'Doherty nicely. He chooses to accept some extra support from Maricic, and he picks out Fujinami. Campbelltown just look a little bit more patient in build-up at the minute, rather than trying to just pick out a long option in either Labasso or Maury. They just held off. That long ball did come and just sent slightly astray. Nice switch ball to Omlani Tatu. He's going to get past Malisi. He does, but some support there from Conant. And Conant does well to win it. Hasn't had his best first 55 minutes of this game or so, Omlani Tatu. Always a little bit of excitement when you see his name on the team sheet, but he's been nullified nicely so far this afternoon by Campbelltown City. Comes in. A slightly better ball from him than this occasion, but United unable to create anything off of it. A little bit of activity on the Campbelltown bench now, so I wonder if we'll see our first change for today from them. It's Adam Lee and Bruno. That's getting kitted up and ready to go on. It'll be after this corner kick plays out, though, which comes in. It's a low ball. Alagic got a little bit of a flick to it, or at least tried to. I don't think he did, because it'll be another Adelaide United corner. Kasper Kuzman to take. No, Kasper Kuzman won't take, because this time it'll be Callan Alagic. He's just ordered his players into the 6-yard box, and he sends it a little bit high, drops just beyond the near post, but it's cleared. Nicola thought about seeing him with a power volley, but now it's Campbelltown on the attack. Maury looked like he was in a foot race with Nicola, but Nicola just fell off. Nice little slip to Conant. He turned it, but spilled it. Only momentarily, though. Adelaide United end up with it. Omlani Tatu gets past Boffer, but O'Doherty comes into support. Now it's Callan Alagic again. He's trying to put it into Garuccio's path, but a little bit too much on it. Now it'll be a Campbelltown throw-in. And now we'll have our first change for Campbelltown. Adam Lee and Bruno, who was omitted from the starting 11 today. He was one of the 2 changes made by Daniel Mullen for this round 6 fixture. Adam Lee and Bruno comes on for Alessio Malisi. Malisi was one of the players that came in for him. Bit of a slow down of the pace, but hopefully just momentarily. We can use this time to do a quick score update from elsewhere, and Croydon and Comets seems to be a curious one to watch, and currently it's all locked up in the 89th minute. We're a little bit surprised to see Comets go up, given they're winless so far this season, but 51st minute goal put them up 2-1, and in the 80th minute, Croydon evening things up again and getting closer and closer to full time there. Bit of a shout for a pen there. And it's not going to be, says Christian Vidicchio. Fortunately, we've still got some spare balls on the pitch. I'm just looking over just above the Joe Natale balcony. There's 3 balls there nestled among the solar panels at the moment. Hopefully someone from Campbelltown's feeling brave and is going to go up there to retrieve those later. They might want to make sure the roof is dry when they do. I wouldn't recommend it after the showers today to go after it. Labusso with a nice ball to Conant. Mori's there, and he'll get to that through ball first. Slips it to Fujinami. Mori. He's got 2 Reds players to get past. Otherwise, Nicola just forcing him to the sideline. And a little bit of a wrestling match between Fujinami and Kuzman. The whistle doesn't go despite Kuzman waiting for it. Boffa back to Mullen. Amlani Tatu goes to ground but doesn't get the whistle. Mullen sends it forward, but it looked like it was going to go out, and both Harry Conant for Campbelltown and Maluel Nicola sat off it to let it go out, but looks like the wind caught it and it just went back in. Kasper Kuzman just went to receive the tiniest shin pad the world has ever seen. Looked like it was the size of a Tic Tac box, but the assistant ref making sure that he did have the safety of that in his sock. Amlani Tatu finds a target in the middle. Just slightly wide from Liam Stam, the halftime sub for Adelaide United. Still in search of our second 18 minutes into this second half at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre in round 6 of the RAA NPLSA. Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. 1-0. Still what's being shown on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. Labusso. Conant, who tried to slip it to Mori, but it's dealt with by Adelaide United. And Ethan Cox clears it long. Mullen sends it forward again. Trying to play it forward to Mori. Alagic does well to evade Labusso. And O'Neill finds Maluel Nicola, who goes back. Adelaide United do well to find Crawford between the lines, and he decides to go around and sends it central. Amlani Tatu. He managed to shake the defender, but sends it wide of the post. He did have his back to goal. Alex Mullen just trying to lift his team a little bit here, and it does feel like it's a little bit flat on the pitch at the minute. Vaughan sends it long, and Murray will go up next to Alagic. Garuccio manages to keep it just ahead of Liam Bruno, and it goes back to Kasumovic. Alagic to Garuccio, who spins but leaves the ball behind, and O'Doherty was trying to win it. He gives away a free kick in the process. Nicola. Garuccio spills again, and Nicola tries to win that off Connacht. Adelaide United eventually do. Alagic does well to fend off Boffa. And goes to Kuzman. O'Neill plays it to Kasumovic in a little bit of space, and he switches it up the other wing. Shot from outside the 18, and Dan Vaughan deals with it. Now another corner kick for Adelaide United as we get closer to the halfway mark of this second half. Quick score check, and Adelaide City currently lead Para Hills at the Paddocks 2-0 at the moment. We'll check in with the live standings at the moment. That's a nice corner kick. Taken in Dent, landing in a dangerous place, and it's gone all the way over the top. Kuzman's got it now. Nice little flick. Eventually it ends up with Amlani Tatu. And he gets a yellow card. Christian Vidicchio quickly calls it a Campbelltown free kick. They barely got the air in their lungs to make a shout for that one. Adelaide United on that occasion. And Tatu goes into the book in the 67th minute. Long ball looking for Labasso, but it's cut out by Adelaide United once again. That's nice from Conant. Labasso manages to get to it. Conant coming back for support. But Nicola once again intercepts and wins it back for Adelaide United. Alagic. Stam. He finds Battistella. He's got support on that right-hand wing. And the ball does dribble to get there. Battistella's charging forward on the inside with Alagic next to him, but it goes out and it will be a Campbelltown throw-in. It's been a difficult game so far to pick out some real outstanding individual performances, but one player that I'm impressed with so far is Manuel Nicola, who won the ball on 2 different occasions there. Crawford deals with it by bombing it long, but it only goes to opposition. But he ends up back with it anyway. Does Crawford, and he goes back to Cox. O'Neill chooses Kasumovic, but with a bit of a messy ball. Kasumovic now going for a bit of a run. He puts Garuccio on a little bit of a precarious position, and Campbelltown again spilt. This might be a chance with their centre-back out of position, but Alagic does well and wins it. Now it's Liam Stam that's forced Vaughan off his line, but well done for Campbelltown, and in particular Adam Liam Bruno, who kicks it out into safety. Now we're going to see another change for Adelaide United. This will be their third. And it's Israel Monga coming on for Alex Battistella. The 18-year-old Izzy Monga, who joined Adelaide United from Western United. He played his junior football with Wodonga Heart in Victoria. And he will take part in the final 20 minutes or so of this fixture, in place of Adelaide United's top goal scorer so far in the NPL this year, Stam, who's made a bit of an impact on that right-hand side since coming on. That was a nice ball to Maury, but it's just taken a deflection off his hand, unfortunately, and gone to O'Neill, who's tried to pick out Stam on that far side. And again, he's charging forward. Monga gets ahead to it, but goes out to Amlani Tatu. Now Malawal Nicola trying to get around Harrison Conant. Ball sent in, and it goes over everyone. It'll be a Dan Vaughan goal kick. Just to revisit that run a moment ago, I believe it was actually Harry Crawford that made that little run out of right back. Mullen sends it long, and Labasso will get to it. He won't. Crawford doing the job defensively. Alagic now back to Kasumovic. Crawford again. And that time he tries to play it over into the path of Amlani Tatu, who was a little bit frustrated with that delivery. And it looks like Campbelltown are getting ready to make another substitution. And it looks like number 17, Julian Laleggio, the 18-year-old who was part of the reserves team who won the title last year. Looks like he'll come on and hopefully get his name on the score sheet in this second half. Haven't seen a whole lot of highlights during this second half, to be completely honest, but still open for Campbelltown to either increase their lead or Adelaide City to reduce the deficit and put things back on equal terms for the last little bit. Liam Bruno plays it back to Maricic. Vaughan. A little bit of a dangerous ball for Harry Conant to try and claim, and Malawal Nicola goes over the top. Here's Stam. He's got Amlani Tatu in support on his left. He's got Monga on his right. Goes to Monga, who gets a hearty shirt pull. The whistle goes. And the card shown to Jordan Maricic. Half an hour gone in this second half. And in a game where we haven't seen a whole lot of opportunity for Adelaide United, and certainly nothing capitalised on, can Amlani Tatu create a little bit of magic from the spot? Sends it up and over, and Dan Vaughan had to go flying to keep that out of the back of the net. And now Campbelltown will hopefully try to do something on the rebound. It's Maury with Conant coming in support and Labasso. But it's a loose ball and it goes straight to the hands of Ethan Cox. Stam tried to send it long to Garuccio, but Alex Mullen cuts that one off. Labasso staying staunch to fend off Kasumovic. He's still got it against both Kasumovic and Malawal Nicola. Manages to get past him. maybe waited a little bit too long. That was Maury, rather. Labasso was waiting for him in the middle, and Maury working really, really hard and getting past the two players. Just too late with finding someone to receive that cross. Now we've got the second change for Campbelltown happening. Julian Laleggio will take part in the final 15 minutes of this fixture. And he comes up to be part of this corner as well, and it's Jack Rawson who's calling it a day after 75 minutes played. A chance for Campbelltown too for their advantage late in the game. The fall just short of that front post. Halagic is trying to fend off O'Doherty. Support arrives in Boffa and he releases the cross. Labasso was waiting it to fall to him, but Kasumovic comes in front. And now Adelaide United on the rebound. It's Crawford. Tried to send it short to Stan, but Campbelltown saw it coming. United managed to keep it in. Monga plays it to Garuccio. Shot from outside the 18th, or just on the edge of. That ends up going wide. And the Adelaide United bench looks like they're readying another change. Wearing the 91, Rahidi. I'll correct myself. Riyad Rahidi will be coming on in just a moment. Couldn't tell you a whole lot about this player, to be perfectly honest. It's not one that we've seen usually lining up in the starting 11 for Adelaide United's NPL squad or even on the bench, so a chance for him to make us remember his name here today for the last little bit of this game. And that change will happen right now. Garuccio will come off, with Rahidi taking his place. 78 minutes gone now on the One World LED and Sportable System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. Nicola to Monga. Back to Kasumovic. Crawford gets past Laleggio, but spills it to Harrison Conant, who's been pretty active in this second half. Jordan O'Doherty takes that free kick quickly to release Harrison Conant. Halagic is there to win the ball from him. And now we're going back the other way again with Adelaide United. The sub in Rahidi was making a dash on the left-hand side, but the ball didn't come. Here's Amlani Tatu, who managed to find Stan, but only momentarily because Maury was coming in. Maury desperate to make a difference late. Been a little bit of a game of frustration for him today, safe to say. Labasso beaten to it by Bailey O'Neill. Goes to Rahidi. Back to Rahidi via 1-2 through Liam Stamp. He tried to offload it to Izzy Monga, but that ball a little bit loose. Ethan Cox out of his box. And sends it long to Crawford. Crawford with his hands out asking for options. He chooses Alagic, who sends it goalward just over the head of Izzy Monga. Kasumovic just being stalked by Laleggio. And he wants to make him have to work a little bit to play it out. Adelaide United end up winning the free kick. We'll do another score check from the other games because there's been a little bit of action to update you on. Playford City now leading Sturt Lions. Meanwhile, Maury has a chance here. A little bit of a spill from Ethan Cox. Manages to save that. A little bit of confusion there. Adelaide United. Be interesting to go back and just re-watch what happened there, but Adelaide United potentially getting out of jail with that. O'Neill. Guzman. Back to Kasumovic via Alagic. And now he goes to that left-hand side. Maluel Nicola. Here's Crawford. Sends it to Izimonga, who was calling for it. It's Amlani Tatu, sorry. Can't get past the Campbelltown defender. It's Alagic. Manages to retain it from Adelaide United. That cross from Harry Crawford stops, but it will be an Adelaide United throw-in. I'll promise you the score update, and I will give you that in a second, but there's been another goal in the last minute or so. So once this plays out, we'll revisit it. Monga. Tatu. He shook off Boffa, but then goes to ground in Cox. Almost at the halfway line. Kasumovic. Kuzman. Slips it to Crawford, who gets the cross. Monga back to Tatu. Doesn't get the shot off. Alagic. To Stam. He's just trying to shake the pressure of Labasso. Rahidi, the sub, gets a shot off, and Vaughan has to work to keep it out. It's been a couple of acrobatic saves that we've had to see from Daniel Vaughan. There was that earlier spot kick from Olani Tatu. And Rahidi, the sub, trying to put his name on the score sheet. We're going to have a goal kick now, and we'll take this opportunity to talk about the other games. 86th minute at the moment at Playford, where Playford City leads Sturt 2-0 at the moment. Adelaide City leading Para Hills away 3-1 at the minute. And as we look at the live standings, still with FK Beergrad and West Adelaide to play. Just a little bit of a moment. I believe there was a yellow card shown to Harry Crawford. And Daniel Vaughan just giving his 2 cents on the matter. Let's go back to the standings as they stand at the minute. Adelaide United will slip down to 9th, and Campbelltown will go up to 5th, but only momentarily. Of course, West Adelaide and FK Beergrad tied on 7 points each and still to play tonight. So will be interesting to keep an eye on how that ladder shapes up until the end of round 6 in the RA NPLSA later tonight. Nicola finds Amlani Tatu. Just tries to shake the two Campbelltown players. A little bit of a spin, but I'm not sure who he was trying to get past. It will be an Adelaide United corner kick. Alagic sends it in. It's dealt with. O'Neill. Tatu plays it to Rahidi. He's got a defender to get around. A little bit of a challenge, which I didn't see because it was behind the light pole, but there was a little bit of a shout. Play will go on off this throw-in. Here's Liam Stam. Nicola again. Kuzman back to Cox. And he seems to be inching further and further up the pitches. Adelaide United hunt for this goal. Alagic tried to send it into the 18-yard box. Rahidi had some of his own traffic in the way of Izzy Moga. Malawal Nicola trying to get through the defenders, but Alagic from distance. Monga. Back to Alagic. Kasumovic finds Amlani Tatu. And this loose ball will be left to go all the way out. Well, we're 87 minutes now into this game. Seems like we're deserving a second goal in this half, and most of the opportunities have come at the Adelaide United attacking end over the last 10 minutes or so. Campbelltown with a couple of opportunities, including a little bit of a flub, a bit of a miscommunication between keeper and defender at Adelaide United's defensive side, but Adelaide United at the moment seems to be really pushing for a late equaliser. O'Neill to Kasumovic. Kasumovic switches it long to Rahidi, falls to his feet. Monga. Back to Alagic. He was patient, maybe a little bit too patient, and Campbelltown win it back. Only momentarily, though. From distance, and they found in the back of the net, finally. And we've got an 88th minute equaliser and a celebration to match from Harry Crawford. It seemed only a matter of time if they kept pushing for Adelaide United to make things 1-1. And it's this late stage that they do it. Campbelltown wasting opportunities throughout this afternoon and maybe sitting back, letting United control things a little bit too much over the last 15 or so. And Adelaide United's eventually rewarded for it. We may see a fast and furious end to this game for the final minute or two or three that we've got left. O'Neill, Kasumovic. Given the ladder position of both these two teams, 1 point each won't do a whole lot, so both of them will want to fight for all three. Remember, West Adelaide and FK Beergrad still to play tonight with that 6 o'clock kickoff, and both of those teams just ahead of where these two teams started the round. But as it stands at the moment, Campbelltown in 6th spot if they manage to hold on to 1 point. And there's been a little bit of challenge that's resulted in Kuzman getting a yellow card for Adelaide United. One of the Campbelltown's players still on the ground. I can't see who that is at the moment. But the trainer has been called on. It looks like O'Doherty, I believe. A little bit of a hold-up of play, and both teams will probably want this time added on so one of them can get their nose in front before the final whistle goes. Quickly touch on the other games at the moment. Playford City still leading Sturt Lions, and Para Hills still trailing the visitors in Adelaide City. We're all locked up at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. But Campbelltown will try to change this. Just a two-man wall from Adelaide United, but support on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a cute little chip. It looks like Boffa got the head to it, but Ethan Cox able to deal with it. Now Adelaide United go forward. It's a very long ball. Falls to Amlani Tatu off the head. Hits the crossbar and comes back into play. And Daniel Vaughan able to deal with the loose ball. And he bombs it back at the other end. We're going to see a pinball game to finish proceedings probably here at Steve Woodcock. Labusso just ahead of Maluel Nicola. He just managed to slip the ball to Maury. He's got Fujinami to deliver the cross. He does. And Ethan Cox now forced to make a save and just put that into safety over the crossbar. And now Campbelltown can maybe create a last-minute chance from the corner. We are just nudging 92 minutes. Maybe the last roll of the dice for this game. Shared points seem like a fair result this afternoon, but both teams will go in pursuit of all 3 points. Labasso and Moria closer to the goal face, goes over the top of both of them and goes over the top of everyone. Izzy Monger will keep this in. He's cut off by Boffa en route to Ethan Allegich. Ethan Cox seems to be taking his time in retrieving this ball. He goes short to Bailey O'Neill. Sends it right through the guts to Harry Crawford. He's got Amlani Tatu, who he picks out. And he battles to get past the Campbelltown defender. Didn't manage to do so. It was a little bit handsy. And the Campbelltown defender, I believe it was Liam Bruno. It was Liam Bruno. Picks up a yellow card in the process. It's Amlani Tatu and Callan Allegich standing over this again as Allegich peels away. Tatu sends it goalward. It's dealt with by Campbelltown, but only goes as far as Kuzman. Now to Rahidi. Trying to slip the Campbelltown defender and goes to ground. This will be another free kick for Adelaide United, and we've got some afters as well. Maluel Nicola looked like a bit of a push, but the Campbelltown player has dropped. It was Julian Laleggio that's still gone down holding his face, and red has been shown. Maluel Nicola will leave the pitch. And we mentioned before, in the 2 meetings last year, there were 3 players that were set packing. And we're going to continue that pattern that we've seen, because it's Maluel Nicola that's been sent to the change rooms early at this late stage. And at this late stage, we're just nudging 5 minutes into additional time now. Adelaide United will try to put their nose in front. There's 3 players standing over the ball at the moment. It's Crawford, Tatu. I think that's... Well, I can tell you it is Rahidi, because I can see his number now. He's just peeled off, and it will be Harry Crawford that will send it in. Izzy Monga, and Fazo Kasumovic, and Allegich as well, the taller heads for Adelaide United that are ready to get onto the end of this. Crawford sends it in, and Vaughan again forced to parry that away into safety. And there is the final whistle from Christian Vidicchio. Both these teams trying frantically in the final minutes to try differentiate themselves a bit of drama when Adelaide United equalised in that little scuffle there a couple of moments ago, but the result is shared points at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. Campbelltown City 1, Adelaide United 1. First goal came in the 34th minute from Josh Morey. Harry Crawford equalising in the 88th minute. A competitive game, at least for the moment. We will see Campbelltown go into the top 6, but remember, West Adelaide and FK Beergrad still to face off with the 6 o'clock kickoff tonight, so that'll likely change things further. Before I do leave you for this afternoon, let's quickly check in with the other games. We've got Playford City and Sturt Lions. Full time has been called there now, with Playford City getting a 2-1 win and Adelaide City getting a 3-1 win against Para Hills at full time. Quick look at the ladder. West Torrens Bacalla top spot, Adelaide City in second, Playford in third, Metro Stars in fourth, Sturt Lions in fifth, Campbelltown sixth spot at the moment, finals position. Yet to play, FK Beergrad and West Adelaide in seventh and eighth. Adelaide United will end the round in ninth spot, just above Croydon in 10th spot. And down in the relegation zone, Adelaide Comets still with just 1 point, and Para Hills still winless at the bottom of the ladder. But in terms of the action in round 6 of the RA NPLSA from Steve Woodcock Sports Centre, it is all done. Time for us to say goodbye. It's been Simon Jimenez keeping you company this afternoon, and we'll catch you a little bit later tonight on FSA Leagues from Kilburn. West Adelaide versus FK Beergrad. Have yourself a great night.